Put simply, the will of the Father in John 6:40 is not God's will for mankind, but rather God's will for his son Jesus. Consider the verse in the context. John 6:38 through 40, Jesus says, "For I've come down from heaven not to do my own will, but the will of one that sent me. This is the will in whom has sent me, that all of is given to me. I lose nothing, but raise it up on the last day. This is the will of my Father, that everyone that beholds the Son and believes him will have eternal life. And I myself will raise him up on the last day." That's an interesting argument that they're saying that the will, the one doing the will that is talking about or doing the work, is Jesus. Okay. Verse 38 is simple enough. Jesus says he's come to do the will of the Father. He follows this up with verse 39 by explaining what the will is, that he would lose none of them for whom the Father had given them, but rather that he would raise all the believers on the last day. In verse 40, Jesus elaborates further on what he said in verse 39, indicated by the explanatory guard at the beginning of verse 40, by again explaining the will of the Father for Jesus. The will of the Father, he says, is that all believers will have eternal life. The emphasis not being on the present possession of eternal life, but on the future culmination of it. That's his claim. And who is going to make sure that they have eternal life? Who's going to accomplish the Father's will and guarantee this eternal life by raising believers up on the last day? Jesus, as he says at the end of verse 40. I myself will raise them up on the last day. Jesus will indeed accomplish the will of the Father who sent him, and therein is the hope of the believer.